walk me through the different childhood milestones?
Well, surely there are so many, especially between 0 and 3 years old from birth. But if we just look at the big ones, it would be the baby starting to sit up, then crawl, walk, and then also the manipulation, the motor skills, where they start being able to pick up stuff, build towers, build puzzles, start speaking, the vocabulary, and then their coordination and balance as they start climbing stuff and running around. And then in preschool, obviously they need to be able to handle a pencil, to be able to start writing, basic phonics, and then in school your reading abilities, and so on, and even continuing until the age of 25 years, something like executive functioning control, which is your ability to plan ahead. Those are also some milestones that we only reach later on in life, which is very important.
Sure, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
And tell me, what are common challenges that children may experience in achieving these different milestones, and how can parents support them?
I think some of the biggest challenges that is nowadays the situation is that basically to develop your physical milestones, you would need space to do stuff outside, and you would need to be able to run around and climb on trees or rocks, and a lot of people don't have a big house with a yard outside where children can play safely, and to develop your language and your communication abilities, you would need to have time spent with, to read through storybooks, to do storytelling, to have communication apart from just instruction. So the time available that parents have, often working both long hours, is limited to spend that amount of time. So that is some of your physical limitations and stuff that makes it difficult. But the other thing is also our brain, when different milestones needs to develop, it's necessary for, they call it myelination of different areas in the brain to happen properly, and that comes from the right kind of essential fatty acids that you need to take in, because it's also the building blocks for specific chemicals in your brain, and then for the way in which those messages are transported through the brain. So the right kind of food, brain food, is really important for the development of various milestones as you go along. And if you just look at normal healthy food, that is one of the other challenges in normal households, is it's difficult to get to preparing proper meals. And even if you do find the time to do that, the children's taste buds has changed considerably, so they might not want to eat it, or change their lunchbox, their good lunchbox food that I've experienced with my children, to exchange their biltong and their fruit for sweeties and chippies. So not so good. So we don't want to take in the sugary stuff. The brain needs fats, and it's very ideal to have the essential fatty acids for that.
Okay, and for any parents out there who has a child who is struggling to achieve their different development milestones, do you have any advice on how, or on how they can go about that, or anything that they can use to assist?
Well, firstly, if you have a good clinic sister that you're taking your baby or your toddler to, they are worth their weight in gold. And if they point out specific delays that are to worry about, consider seeing a specialist or an occupational therapist for physical developmental delays, or a speech therapist for your speech delays, or even a dietitian to help you prepare meals that can be beneficial for the development. And then the other good advice that I would offer is that Equizen is a specifically well-researched ratio of essential fatty acids containing exactly what the brain needs to reach those milestones, and it has actually been tested in different studies with different milestones. Firstly, with very young kids which were behind in speech, where it showed that it actually helped them develop a larger vocabulary. The speech development caught up about 5 months in 4 months' time, and also the understanding of language improved a lot. And then they also looked at the toddlers with struggling with more of their coordination and balance, and especially children that needed to write, and their handwriting was such that it was basically illegible, and that improved greatly. And then, of course, the reading ability and spelling ability with children that were far behind their ability or their milestones of reading improved greatly. 9 months in 3 months' time in reading, and 6 months improvement in 3 months in spelling ability. So various milestones improved greatly with the use of Equizen.
That is amazing.